to determine whether you get your funds or not based on that goal. We also don't have an application process, so there's no review from our side of whether you can join our platform or not. Everyone is welcome to, and we encourage people of all shapes and sizes to do so. We also have great customer support. We know that running a campaign can at times be a little scary, so we want to be here for you while you do it. And we have an awesome happiness team that can answer any and all of your questions. And we're also merit-based. So as a platform, we know that a lot of our campaigns want to be on the homepage or want to go out in our newsletter. However, we want the little guys to get just as much attention as the big guys and don't want to show favoritism. So we use a proprietary algorithm called the Go-Go Factor to determine which campaigns receive promotion through our platform. Why raise money on Indiegogo? So the most obvious reason to start a campaign on Indiegogo is to raise money. However, raising money is just one of the benefits of running a campaign. You can also gain visibility and raise awareness. If you have a successful campaign, you can take that to press outlets and say, hey, look how many people care about our campaign. We had over 500 funders. We raised over $15,000. You know, that's a way to show the world that people care about what you're doing, and also to show the world, to tell the world about your cause. A campaign also allows you to more deeply engage with your audience than any other way you might raise funds. So the idea of an Indiegogo campaign is not only to receive money, but also to allow your audience to participate in building and creating your project, whatever that might be. If it's a cause, it allows them to more directly and transparently see how they're impacting that cause. So you can communicate with them through your campaign page, ask for their feedback on the way you're doing things, and follow up with them once you've completed your project. That builds this advocacy group for your cause and allows you to just deepen that engagement and spread it further. So what is International Women's Week? International Women's Week is an initiative put on by Indiegogo where we want to celebrate International Women's Day with everyone else around the world. So what we're doing to do that is on March 3rd, we will give back $1 for every $25 a campaign raises on our partner page that day. So it's really great for you. It can be any type of women's campaign. It could be run by women, it could be for women, it could be to pursue a woman's cause. We're a very open platform, so anything to do with women is welcome to join. And to join, you just have to go to www.indiegogo.com/partners/IWW. That week we'll be having all sorts of great prizes and events going on, so we'd love for you to join. To create a campaign, you'll just go to the partner page and click on, there's a hyperlink that says click here to create a campaign. You'll click there. If you already have a campaign running and want to join the partner page, just email us at partnersupport@indiegogo.com. Okay, so let's move on to how to make a successful campaign for International Women's Week. First and foremost is the pitch. This is really what people see when they come to your campaign page. It's made up of the goal, the video, and the pitch text. So the goal might be the most important part of your pitch, and it's often the place where I see campaign owners make the biggest mistake, which is that they set too high of a goal that's not attainable for them. And a higher goal doesn't always mean that you'll make more money. In fact, it has the opposite effect. So if you take a look at these two campaigns here, you can see that the campaign on the right if you're looking at your computer screen, so the campaign on the right appears more successful than the campaign on the left. Why is that? Even though they've raised the same amount of funds, they have the same amount of days left, and they're both flexible funding campaigns, The campaign on the right appears more successful because it has a higher percentage of its green bar filled. We call this the green bar effect. Contributors are much more likely to give to the campaign on the right because it appears more successful and it looks like it will achieve its goal. Whereas the campaign on the left, it looks like it's so far away from reaching its goal. Why would I throw my money into something that's not going to be successful? So it's really important to think about what is an appropriate goal for you and your project, and make sure to set an attainable goal. Now, that doesn't mean that if you hit your goal, you can't raise more money. In fact, 87% of campaigns that hit their goal actually exceed it. So a smart strategy is to set a goal you know you can hit, and then aim to go past that goal by setting stretch goals. For causes, a great way to set a stretch goal is to tell your contributors what else you can do with more money. So set your goal at $5,000, but tell your contributors what else you can do if you reach $10,000. And encourage them to give more in creative ways. So another important part of running a campaign is the video. You do not need to have a video to run a campaign on Indiegogo. However, campaigns with a video raise 370% more than campaigns without a video. A lot of campaign owners say to me, I don't have the resources, the money to make a professional video. That's okay. You can make a pitch video on your phone. Just make sure to keep 3 things in mind when creating a video. First, make it personal. Tell your story. Even if you're raising money for an organization, people give to people. So make sure you're telling about why you're so passionate about that organization, how you got involved in that organization, and what is your personal connection to your campaign. Also, make it emotional. People are more likely to share when they have an emotional connection to something, so make sure to spark that. Again, that can go back to telling your personal story and allowing people to relate to you, but don't forget to include that, especially with causes. It's so important. Also, keep your video concise. The worst thing you can do is make too long of a video. Most people, if you do not have an exciting video after 30 seconds, they will stop watching it. So keep it as short as possible. We find that campaign owners who have videos under 3 minutes are more likely to be successful than campaign owners who have videos longer than 3 minutes. So keep it concise and to the point. The pitch text. So your pitch text, a lot of people focus on this, but it's not nearly as important as your goal or your video. So I would encourage you to spend most of your time on your video and thinking about who will provide 30% of your goal rather than focusing on your pitch text. However, there are a couple of rules of thumb when creating a pitch text. The first is to plan your pitch real estate. So that means that you want the most important information above the fold. So just like in a newspaper, you have the most important information about the article above the fold. You want to keep the most important information in your pitch text above the scroll. So before someone has to scroll down twice, they're already getting the most important information. It's also great to show your project or product. This is a great example of a campaign on the right here. You can see that they're raising funds to put murals in Sudbury. However, what really made me convinced that these murals were worth my time and money is when I saw a picture of it. So make sure to include as many pictures as you can. Infographics are another great way to get people's attention. You can create free infographics on it's visu.ly. They have a great tool for you to create free infographics. Likewise, you can never give too much information. So be sure to include all the information about your project you have whether it's FAQs, whether it's bios about you and your team, or risks and challenges you're going to take making this project. Include everything. Next, perks. So perks can be really fun. So we're going to go through the purpose of perks, what can perks be, and what can they accomplish. So perks can motivate contributors to give out of passion, pride, or participation. So people might be really passionate about your cause, they might be really proud of it, or they might want to participate in it. So campaigns that have perks raise 143% more than campaigns without perks. So you want to make sure to include those. Now some people say, oh, I don't have the ability to create perks. However, perks can be really simple. If you do have a product you're giving away, you definitely want to include that as a perk. If you have swag or any type of physical objects that you can offer, those are great perks. But if you don't have that, that's not the end of the world. Perks can also be an experience. So you can invite people to an event. A good example of this is our founder, Slava Rubin, has a campaign every year where he hosts a concert, and through the campaign he sells tickets to the concert, and the guests by contributing actually donate to the Myeloma Foundation. Experience can also be a recognition experience, so you could ask somebody to cut the ribbon of the new park that you're opening, or they could volunteer. You could ask somebody to chip in, pay $20 to come volunteer at the new park. They can also participate. So maybe they'll get to be a new, on the board of your new park. Anything like that are great ways to give people the opportunity to get a little bit deeper into your perks. You can also provide digital goods, a song, a subscription to a newsletter, exclusive insight into a project's progress. Those are all great ideas. The example on the right here is Exploratorium. They ran a campaign where they wanted to put a parklet on Market Street, and how they did that was they sold a ringtone, which again was a digital good, and they also sold an exhibit, a sketch of the exhibit, so that anybody who had ever visited the parklet could also have a sketch of the parklet as a digital good. So it'd be a cool perk to show your friends, or to have 100 years from now to pass down to your grandchildren an exhibit of something that is staying around for a long time. Next, in-kind perks. In-kind perks are something that someone else gives on behalf of the campaign. So you might not have all of the resources to create amazing perks, but maybe you have friends or family that do. Definitely if you have any celebrities or influential individuals that could give to your campaign, it would be great to ask them to do so. A good example of this is the Innovating Women campaign. The campaign owners knew a lot of people in the entrepreneurial world, and they asked them to actually give mentorships, and they sold out so quickly that they offered them again at a higher price point. So this is a great idea of a way to use your network to help your campaign be successful. Also, if you have a special skill or somebody else does, like they're a yoga instructor, they can provide free yoga classes, you're a great cook, you can bake cookies for your contributors, or if you have access to a museum membership that you can give away, these are all great perks. However, perks can go both ways. So while you're giving something back to the contributors, they can also give something back to you. And you can also kind of deepen that connection with perks, so you can make them feel valued with a thank you letter, a phone call, some sort of expression of gratitude on social media. You know, I can't tell you how much you do feel rewarded when you receive a simple thank you note. One campaign I contributed to, it was a camp in Colombia and for underserved children. And I only contributed, I think, $5 or $10, but they sent me a postcard written by the children in Colombia. And it was really special to receive that and to know that they had handwritten that to me. And it made me feel valued and much more deeply connected. Likewise, perks can allow your contributors to show off their participation. So obviously, t-shirts and swag, those are branding for your campaign. Another good one for branding is to allow your contributors to download a Facebook banner or Twitter banner that has your project's logo on it. That's free for you, and it allows your contributors' friends to see what they're doing, to see what you're doing, and to get more involved in your campaign. However, you can also go a step further. The Hello Hardo campaign was a great example of creative involvement. She was going on a tour with her YouTube show, and she actually allowed contributors to vote on which city she would come to. So if you contributed $1, that would go towards a vote for your city, and she would stop at your city if your city had collected the most votes. Last, you want to think about fulfillment. So when you're creating your perks, don't forget to think about how you're going to fulfill 10 perks or 10,000. You can always change the limit available. So if you can't fulfill 10,000 units of something, then make that less. Also research international shipping. We are an international platform, so you want to think about that ahead of time. If somebody in Bulgaria supports your campaign, can you ship to them? The Angry Video Game Nerd was a campaign that offered to send a personalized thank you video to every contributor who gave at, I think it was $25. And while it was a great success, it was almost too successful because they spent the next 2 summers fulfilling these perks because they had, I think, about 3,000 people claim it. So think through your perks and make sure that you have enough time and resources to fulfill them. Now we're going to go on to running and promoting a campaign, and I'm going to let Pam take over from here.
Okay, so we're going to talk about promoting your campaign and also running a campaign, meaning in many ways keeping up the momentum and having a good dialogue with your contributors and people who are following your campaign. Okay, so before you launch your campaign, you need to think about your social networks, what networks you can tap into, whether that's family, whether that's friends, colleagues, Facebook acquaintances, Twitter followers. You have to take into account your actual audience size, okay? Now, what you can also do is build out your team. So when you're building your campaign, you can add in team members as editors or just as view-only team members. And this is a way of not only gaining support for your campaign from these team members, but also tapping into their social networks as well, okay? Take a look at your inner circle. We recommend that you try to raise at least 30% of your campaign's funds from your inner circle, and that's family, friends, colleagues, like we mentioned before, okay? You can work on building your social media presence. You can start talking about your campaign before it's launched. Build up that anticipation. Okay. We recommend that you launch your campaign on a Monday or Tuesday in the morning, and that, those are the days we find when people are most engaged in campaign announcements. If you wait till Friday, a lot of people are thinking about the weekend. They're not looking at their emails from their friends. So try to do it on a Monday or a Tuesday. We find that the most successful campaigns run for between 21 and 45 days, although you do have the option of running anywhere between 1 and 60 days. Okay, launching your campaign. All right, so we found that direct emails bring in 20% more funding than any other source. And so it's really important you go through your contact list and you send an email to every single person who you think will contribute to your campaign. The more personalized it is, the better. Okay, social media accounts for approximately 22% of a campaign's funds. You can contact press and bloggers, especially blogs that are somewhat similar to your actual scope of the campaign. See if they'll post that on there so you can spread it out to a wider audience. We've got the Indiegogo page, which is your actual campaign page. There's an updates tool on there which allows you to send regular updates to your audience, which includes people who choose to follow your campaign as well as campaign contributors. All right, we find that campaigns with updates raise approximately 286% more in funds than campaigns that don't post updates. And also you've got the person-to-person outreach option, which is you can go to events, you can network with people, spread the word, in person. There's different resources you can use. There's meetup.com, which aggregates groups of people based on interest. So that could be something that you can tap into for your campaign. Okay. Once you launch your campaign, usually what we tend to see is there's a great deal of momentum at the beginning of the campaign. And then near the end of the campaign, you get a bit of a boost as well. Now, to prevent a lull from occurring in the middle of your campaign, what you want to do is figure out ways to keep your campaign engaging for your contributors. You can do this by adding additional information to your campaign page, by sending out updates, by adding in perks. This can be a really good tactic, add in a special limited perk in the middle of the campaign to keep people coming back. And this is also a good way to encourage people to contribute multiple times as well. Okay. A couple tools you can use for active engagement. All right, we have, obviously the basic social media channels, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. There's a program called Thunderclap, which uses the power of social media to spread the message. We have a special referral tracker built into our platform so you can run referral contests. We've seen this be very successful with a number of campaigns, telling people, whoever refers the most people to our campaign will earn free perks or whatnot. Okay? All right. Moving on to promotional mistakes, what not to do. All right, starting from zero. This is when you launch your campaign and then you build in a social network. So you put in a Facebook page, a Twitter page. Well, if you don't have any followers, that's not going to make an impact. You want to make sure to start this sort of legwork early on, way before you launch your campaign. You need to build up that momentum. All right. Over promoting too soon. You want to save some of this. You want to add a little bit of excitement into your campaign after it's launched as well. So we recommend that you tell your close circle of, family and friends about the campaign, and then you spread it out to a wider audience. Don't hammer it into them too many times. Panhandling. All right. Running a campaign isn't just about asking for money. It's about asking for support and why you should receive that support. So if all you're doing is asking people for money, this tends to be have a negative effect. Spamming. Yes, we encourage you to send out regular updates, but if you send the same update out every single day, people are going to get upset. People are going to unsubscribe from your updates. So we recommend that when you send out an update, really include valuable information. Keep it down to once or twice a week. Give something, worth reading, something that's going to spark the interest of your contributors and your followers. And another thing is to remember, this isn't a one-way communication. This is a dialogue between you and your supporters. So make sure that you're listening to them. What comments are you receiving? Are there any suggestions that people are offering you or questions that they're asking you? You might want to address this to the wider audience. Okay, now coming up on your campaign completion. All right, you've made it. Make sure you finish strong. Really push your campaign the last couple days. Offer a new perk. Send out an exciting update. Just as much information as possible. Post new videos for your contributors. A lot of times this will encourage your contributors to give multiple times. After your campaign has ended, you can follow up with your contributors about the fulfillment of their perks. Okay, we have a great tool that allows you to download an Excel file that has all the information about your contributors, including their shipping information, their email address, their name, how much they contributed, and what perk they chose. Use your campaign for marketing. If you have a successful campaign, that's a complete market validation. If that many people were willing to support your project, then how many more people, now that they see you've run a successful campaign? And of course, you can continue to use the updates feature. Be sure to thank your contributors, and also become part of the Indiegogo community. We love hearing from campaigners and contributors. We're always really grateful for feedback on how we can make the platform easier to use, help you create a more successful campaign. So please be sure to let us know about that. All right. Wrapping it up here, I highly recommend before you begin building your campaign, you take a look at our campaigner field guide, which the link is right here underneath the title. This goes into great detail about setting up your campaign, what to do once your campaign is launched, and also wrapping up your campaign after it's ended. All right. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If you have questions about International Women's Week partner page, please email us, as Alice said, at partnersupport@indiegogo.com. If you have general campaign questions, you're welcome to contact us at support@indiegogo.com. Thank you guys very much. We look forward to having you become part of our International Women's Week. And I hope you guys learned something, and we'll talk to you soon.